Hello, dear friends. Financial matters are often kept secret to avoid public scrutiny. Opinion piece. Who prints the money? The banknote printer is rusting. Today, 4th July, permission runs out. The first half of the year was critical. Airbus sells 292 A320 aircraft to China. Oil prices could triple. Tough times ahead for cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin could soar by more than 40%. Libyan parliament in Tobruk burns down. China are likely to invade Taiwan. China's crisis could reduce inflation. Banks burn through risk debt. Prince Charles assumes crown duties. Iran slashes its oil coasts. Commodities hit July storm. Thousands of Australians evacuated after flooding in Sydney. Let's start. Some signs point to 4th July 2022 as a key date. The Federal Reserve lost its authority to print money in 2012 and received a 10-year extension ending on 4th July 2022. The Fed controls the money supply, and while it doesn't actually print cash notes, it does determine how many notes the Treasury prints each year. The Fed controls the money supply, and when it expands that supply, it is often described as money printing. The job of printing cash notes belongs to the Treasury Department's Bureau of Engraving and Printing, but the Fed determines exactly how many new notes are printed each year. When the Fed is said to be printing money, the reference is actually to the central bank increasing the money supply in the system. For example, through quantitative easing, an asset purchase program. Some critics of quantitative easing argued that it would lead to hyperinflation, while its advocates said it was a necessary response to extraordinary economic and financial conditions and the absence of an aggressively expansionary fiscal policy. Many felt that subdued inflation and the relatively strong economic recovery in the years following the Great Recession vindicated the Fed's approach, but time has proven them wrong because of inflation. Money creation. Money creation or money issuance is the process by which the money supply of a country or of an economic or monetary region is increased. In most modern economies, money creation is controlled by central banks. The money issued by central banks is called base money. Central banks can increase the amount of base money directly by engaging in open market operations. However, most of the money supply is created by the commercial banking system in the form of bank deposits. Bank loans issued by commercial banks practicing fractional reserve banking expanded the quantity of broad money to more than the original amount of base money issued by the central bank. Central banks control the quantity of money in the economy by measuring monetary aggregates, which consist of cash and bank deposits. Money creation occurs when the quantity of monetary aggregates increases. Government authorities, including central banks and other banking regulators, can use policies such as reserve requirements and capital adequacy ratios to influence the quantity of broad money created by commercial banks, but they are losing control. Economy. Airbus sells 292 A320 aircraft to 4 Chinese airlines in a blow to Boeing. Banks burned through risky debts, jeopardizing procurement activity. Markets had a terrible first half of 2022. Zuckerberg in quotes, "If I had to bet, I'd say this could be one of the worst recessions we've seen in recent history." Morgan Stanley, "As a recession hits, we will see an increase in corporate defaults. Will mortgage rates reach 7% in the near future? Smartphone technology, in quotes, will be integrated directly into our bodies in the next few years," Nokia's CEO said when speaking about the metaverse at the World Economic Forum. Commodities. Commodities hit the July storm. Norway's oil workers' strike could cut production by 8%. Oil prices could triple if Russia cuts production. Oil prices could rise to $380 if Russia retaliates. The European Union should buy Ukrainian grain for countries in need, according to a French group. Cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin could soar more than 40% by the end of the year. The domino effect of cryptocurrencies is widening, threatening more pain. Tough times for cryptocurrencies, unintended consequences of going public. Americas. Argentina's president praises Perón to call for unity in the ruling party. U.S. jury finds Argentine ex-military officer responsible for 1972 massacre. 22 bodies found in graves in western Mexico. Venezuela's largest refinery production shut down due to power failure. Venezuelan activist Javier Tarazona, detained a year ago, is a prisoner of conscience, says Amnesty International. Tropical wave warns of flooding in eastern Puerto Rico. Guatemala's public prosecutor's office fires the prosecutor who tried Ríos Montt. El Salvador buys bitcoins again despite 57% loss. Protests in Ecuador caused production losses of almost 2 million barrels. Inflation in Peru rises 8.81%, highest level since 1997. StoneX raises Brazil's soybean crop forecast to 127 million tons. USA. Environmentalists sue US to stop 3,500 oil drillings. Biden's economy advisor tells struggling citizens that the liberal world order is the most important concern. Trump may be on the verge of a major announcement about his plans for 2024. Trump's social media company subpoenaed by a federal grand jury. Elon Musk breaks Twitter silence with photo of both and his ex-wife in Italy. Europe. Eurozone inflation rose to a record 8.6% in June. Copenhagen police chief says several people are dead after shooting at Field's shopping center. A 22-year-old Danish man was arrested. ECB plans to block banks from giant windfall profits as it raises rates. Spain to increase the number of shopping centers and retail parks by 5% by 2024. Germany risks a cascade of public service failures, says finance chief. Germany has more than 2.3 trillion cubic meters of natural gas stored in the shale rock. enough for more than 20 years, but Environment Minister Olaf Lies in Lower Saxony, where 90% of the gas is stored, again categorically ruled out fracking. Lithuania will continue with its migration policy declared illegal by the European Court, Central European Court. The British Crown delegates some of these functions to Prince Charles of Wales. There is no guarantee that Switzerland will always have enough gas, says Minister. Russia. Nervous staff and no bankers. Western companies struggle to get out of Russia. Russia slashes sunflower oil export tax to support foreign sales. Ukrainian soldiers describe the Donbass as hell on earth. The Kremlin denounces a Ukrainian missile attack on a Russian border town. Ukraine hits Russian command posts with its new rocket system. China. China is likely to invade Taiwan if it affects the economy. China's slowdown could reduce global inflation. China's regional banks marked by allegations of wrongdoing, bad loans, and excessive risk. China planned to pool reserves with the Bank for International Settlements. China may be considering a takeover of the moon as part of its military space program, according to a NASA administrator. Other countries. Thousands of Australians ordered to evacuate ahead of life-threatening Sydney floods. The West crisis in Sri Lanka's history, marked by food shortages and violent protests. Iran slashes the cost of its oil to compete with Russia in China. Libya's parliament in Tobruk burns down after protesters storm it. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.